Well, I did say we'd be back, but I didn't think it would take this long. I'm lovable, handsome Rasco, one of your hosts tonight, and the other guy is
I'm, as ever, Disco, live from what I'm still routinely calling the Disco Arms.
Indeed. And,
Let's get back on the
the
beers,
last time
Roscoe.
we did a show, we said, well, we took a break because I had to go on samurai training, and
Mm.
that was in February, and we thought it'd be a week or two. It's turned out it's been 5 months, so well, I guess we better do a show then. Anyway, yeah. How have you been, Disco, and what have you been up to?
I've not been good,
You've
except
not
I've
been
been,
good.
well, I've not been okay, but I've been okay. Like, I haven't really drunk a lot of beer this year. I
Really?
haven't really reviewed a lot of beer this year.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I kind of, don't know, I got to a point, it didn't help, of course, somewhere around April when my laptop just suddenly died and I couldn't even turn it on. So that didn't help. And my mobile was playing up as well. So not doing videos on that wasn't helpful either. And then I I couldn't make a decision about what to get, what to replace it with. So it kind of got longer and longer, and the time in between videos got longer and longer. And then I managed to get one out just before. I mean, the computer's playing up anyway. So yeah, it's been a while, but we've got some videos out again in the last week. Thanks to
Mm-hmm.
anybody who has watched them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the summer now, and I have been enjoying beers. I've been out and about. I've spent a lot of time up at my local brewery, Perivale, as I know you're aware, Rasco, and the beers up
Really?
there have been really good.
You've been to Perryville? You didn't tell me.
No, I've kind of I sort of get up there, and I don't really have. I've done one review up there, and I haven't really got around to doing any others because I'm chatting away to people, and the beer's pretty good, and I'm just sitting around outside, and next thing I know, it's like, oh, it's getting dark, and I just yeah. Um, like I say, and also what with the lack of like technology, it's been kind of an odd year for beer. There's been probably the least amount of beer for a very long time. Uh,
Wow. So, is this your way of backing out tonight's show, saying I don't have anything to nominate?
no, of course, I will always make an effort and have a look round. To be fair, I don't
Yep.
currently have very much to nominate. Certainly not breweries, anyway. It's a bit, as I say, a bit difficult, but we shall go through the show because I'm fair certain you've got a fair bit to say.
I don't have, in terms of lots to say. Um, I'm going to talk while I go get myself a glass. Excuse me. Um,
Congratulations.
I don't have a huge amount to say. What I
That's
do have.
unusual. Roscoe's always got something to say. You seem to have gone out of range there, Roscoe. We can't actually hear. Normally, we can hear you all the way through the house, but we can't at the moment.
That's. Oh well. Never mind. Yeah, I don't have a huge amount to say. Um, I do have a few things to say. It's been an interesting one. Let me just do one more thing. I'm going to go away again. Talk to the
Okay, I'm
crowd.
just going to
Tell
put
them
this
how
comment
much you
up.
love them.
Greetings, Luke John. Thanks for popping in, sir. Good to see you as always. Yeah, YouTube beer scene has been very, very quiet this year. There's a number of reasons for that, I guess. Yeah, it's been an odd year, like after the last two or three where there's a massive explosion of lots of people on YouTube. And yeah, it has gone a little bit quiet this year. Everybody's got their own particular reasons, of course. I know that. But yeah, cheers for saying that. And being on the Rasco. No, we
Hello,
don't
Luke. Good
Rasco
to
rant. It's
see
far
you.
too early one of those. Anyway, cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Yes. No, no. Well, you know what? I don't have a rant planned, but You know what? If you want me to rant, give me a subject and I'll rant about it.
Well, let's talk about the beer first of all, Rasco. What have you got a beer to crack first of all? Because I've just cracked one, so I don't want to be drinking alone.
Yeah. No. No. You might have to. Oh, there's my notes. See, I'm organised.
Okay.
I've got my notes, so I know what I've
I'm a
nominated.
bit worried.
Look.
That's like a booklet, let alone notes. That's almost a pamphlet you've
Yeah.
got there. Oh, you got
No,
some
mate.
beers lined up. Jolly good. You got some beers lined up behind you. Nice.
I do. I'm going to start with something you're going to love.
Okay.
When I
Let me
say
know.
love, loathe. Never known sharks like it.
What a great shout. What a great shout. Especially if
Yeah.
Shark himself pops in later.
Yep. The mashup is a collab between Rivington Brewery and some brewery I've never heard of called Verdun.
Verdant.
Yeah.
Is it Verdant or
And,
Verdant?
well, who knows?
they
And it's part of
even
their
did a beer.
mashup.
They even did a beer with that name. They said it's pronounced Verdant or Verdant. Obviously, that was non-all, but that was the name of the beer. It's pronounced Verdant.
Yeah, and it's part of their mashup project. It's a project brought to you by Cloudwater, inspired by the love of musical mashups. And Cloudwater involved, Overtone, Siren, all the Premier League players. Yes, I think we're all burnt out of having some styles of beer and most part of the same hops. I agree with that. I think there is a bit of burnout. I've been drinking a lot of beer going, yep, I've had this before. Yes, I'm about to make a video. Well, I was contemplating making a video on that, but we shall see. So yeah, I'm going to crack this open. This is a what is it? It's 8.5% dipper. There you go, double YPA. So it's right up your street. You're going to love it.
It has been known. It has been known. Meanwhile, Rasco, I've gone a little bit safe. To be fair, I've gone with my beer of the year from last year. May contain brambles, a bramble porter,
Which I did have.
I went back and got a load more of it because I really enjoyed it last year. So
good. I did have that beer. Actually, I found it in the Green Dragon, one of my locals. I thought it was good. I did think it was amazing though. I have to admit, I did not think it was all very nice. No, I don't know. And yes, so yeah, I'm just setting up my best angle. How beautiful do I look from that? No, I don't like that at all.
Well, the camera can only do so much.
Indeed.
Yeah, I know.
So, yes. Cool. But this is a lovely smell, nice head, lovely colour. Love the colour of that.
Okay.
Oh, that's got a kick.
Well, an 8.5% kick, I suppose.
Mate, yeah, you'd loathe this. It's all that citra, hoppy, bitter bite. I quite like it.
Yeah, it was like Luke was saying earlier about all the same sort of beer, and it does seem to be. And I was saying this last year and the year before, and I am still saying it now. That's why I'm like even more difficult to choose in beer of the year because it just feels like there's so much of the same kind of pale ale stuff, which is fine. I've got no problem with that because sometimes I do want a pale ale or something a bit heavier, but yeah, just sort of a little bit too much hops, a little bit less balanced. I want something interesting, something different. I mean, that's probably why I like this because it's got that kind of. It's not just a straight up porter. It's got that kind of extra flavour to it. There's a real nice chocolate cake thing going on at the background, which is quite strange because it's quite a thin porter in terms of body, but there's that big chocolatey cake thing going on as well. Nice. After the kind of sour, slightly sour, mostly tartness of like blackberries and bramble fruit, and it just kind of balances out really nicely. But obviously, I'm not going to start on this like you've started on a dipper, but I've started tonight, but I've already been drinking tonight, so this is kind of midway through.
Yeah. So, yeah, I forgot we've got that. Yeah.
Oh, graphics.
Yeah, we had graphics before. It's been that long.
I know. Yeah, I was looking around them about which ones to have. Oh, there we go. We had a bit of sound as well at one point.
Yes, you're right. We do have a song, and you know.
Oh, here we go.
We don't plan on being here every single week because YouTube has gone quiet, and quite frankly, we've got both lives to attend to. So we will be here At best, once a month, maybe twice if you're feeling lucky or unlucky. And yes, we are Rasco and Disco.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Welcome along.
And yeah, I just thought I'd get to that.
Yeah.
But no, I think Beer of the Year is getting harder for me.
Okay.
And you'll see why. But I have to tell my stories of the past few videos because they will interconnect with a Beer of the Year.
Okay. So I remember last year and probably the year before that, you walked up to the half year show with a list of like
Yes.
13 or 14 beers.
Yes.
So am I assuming you're not having quite so many on your consideration list this year?
I would say it's reduced.
Okay.
I would say it's quite reduced.
Okay.
Thing is, though, it is hoppy-based beer. Is there a lot more of it because it's cheaper to produce? I don't know. I'm not sure, but that would be in consideration, considering the times we live in. Sadly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so let's go with. Should we go with your? Are you going to do beer number one? Your nomination? How many have you got?
Let's refer back to these notes that I carefully wrote and got a thumbs up as feedback. So yes, let's go back to my videos I've released over the past few weeks because I put some.
You tell the story, remember?
The 3 videos I've put out recently. A vloggy content because I love vloggy content so much. I don't. Which was 22 minutes long, longest thing I've ever done, and done a lot of editorial work. That was the last one I shot, and then there was an interview with James and Sam Cullens, who wrote "What's in a London Pub Name," and then there was Lucy. So I've released them in reverse order.
Yeah.
They're kind of a trilogy because we basically kind of interconnected. The one was at Wandsworth Beer Festival. That was a lot of fun, and me talking to myself or you, the fans, and wandering around having a very nice curry, and it was great. Notes on high beer guild agenda is taking high. Yeah, indeed. That was a good one, by Luke. Notes on high. Reduce one given Rasco standards. Oh, okay.
An excellent review of H2O. I drink is translucent with no head.
But yeah, so I did that. The interview with James and Sean goes back to when I did a live show by myself and I read out their book and I plugged it on Twitter. They liked it and we started a conversation and we spent a long time mulling when we could do the show. I've been in touch with Lucy for about over a year to try and get a date settled.
Yeah.
And I mentioned in our dialogue, by the way, you're mentioned in this book. And she goes, yes. Oh, I do remember them calling me up and asking for blah, 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 blah. So I kind of thought, well, why don't I do 2 birds with 1 stone? I asked Lucy for a date to do the shoot, and I said, could I interview James and Sean in your venue, and I could do both interviews at the same time?
Yeah.
Everyone agreed on the date, and then James and Sean realised, oh no, you meeting midweek in the afternoon. I said, yeah. Oh, we can't do that. So we met on a Saturday afternoon, an hour before the Dodo opened up. Lucy kindly let us in and did that. Had a chat with Lucy. I was a bit hungover because I've been out with a Serbian journalist introducing him to cask beer, showing him what great beer Britain has. And when he asked me what country does the best beer, I said the UK because we have cask. Simple as that. And he was a bit shocked, and it was fun. It was. Yes. So I attended this interview hungover. It came out a lot better than I thought, both of them. What did you think, Disco? Plug me, plug us.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the one with Lucy. I thought she came across really well, and as we know, she is really fun and knowledgeable in the industry. And I thought, yeah, she that was a really fun, interesting video interview of her. I think the one with the book was also
Yeah.
excellent. There was a lot of interest. I quite like the way you zoomed in on like the pubs that they were talking about. You zoomed in on the book. I thought that was a good way of putting it. Obviously, you paused to read it and stuff like that. So two really good videos from the same place. I hope to get back there soon as myself somehow at some point to check out the beers there. Been for a
Yeah.
while, but yeah, no, two really good videos.
Free.
I think
Free.
the one at Wandsworth, I felt like you were like, and to be fair, I have this as well when I'm talking about doing like videos. I've been trying to do more outside videos, but I have the same problem as you, like standing in front of a camera talking to myself in public. It feels just kind of, do you know what I mean? 5, 10 years ago, I'd have been, if I'd seen somebody doing that, I'd be like, who's that dickhead over there, you know? So, but you did keep referring to the fact that people were watching you like talking into your camera, like, you know.
Yeah, I was that weirdo guy. Yeah, I kind of enjoyed it, like smirking at it, talking about wrestling and God knows what. I don't watch vloggy content; it's not my thing to watch on YouTube. So, but I think you get a sense of what the festival is. It is a fantastic festival.
Yeah.
I hope to go back in autumn time. I did get a business card of the guy who runs it, and he said, "Email me and arrange an interview." I did, and I'm still waiting on a reply as it goes. And that's that really. So what led me to one of my beers is that after the interview with Sean and James, Lucy's obviously working, and I'm having a chat with Sean and James. We're setting the world to rights, literally over pretty much everything. Having a beer as you do. They're friends. Well, James is friends with that train YouTuber that you like, actually, and James had met with him at the Acton Train Museum, and he randomly bumped into him and had to get him out of a situation where everyone had recognised him, was surrounding him in the museum. And James does a bit of public relations stuff and got him out.
Okay.
Of
Would that be Jeff Marshall or Digger Hazard?
First one.
Jeff Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top.
Yeah.
YouTuber.
Yeah. So that was a bit of a story. So I thought the interviews were gonna come off across a bit more chaotic and I think with the one with Lucy, I did show fragments of what her social media is, and she does use social media a lot to promote her bar, and it's successfully as well.
Yeah. Top little bar.
So please check it out, and if you can, get down to the Dodo. It is petite, it emphasizes on the micro, but it makes up for it in decent beer.
Yeah, there's some good beers going on there. Definitely. Luke hasn't seen it. We'll let you off, Luke. It's not compulsory to watch, but should you find yourself
it is
late one night having trouble sleeping, then that's the place to go, isn't it? Really.
Well, no, don't watch it if you're having trouble sleeping, because you'll be so amazed by my editorial work. You won't be able to sleep, man. So maybe not, but we'll watch it, please.
Yeah.
So after I left there, I went along to Farringdon, and I thought, as I'm in Farringdon, I should pop by the Craft Beer Co pub there, which I was at the night before with the Serbian journalist. From Neem magazine, plug, hint, I'm living the high life. And I went there, and I really fancied a Maiden.
Oh, Siren.
Yes, from Siren. So Maiden, and in the the Craft Beer Co, they have Maiden. Now, if you remember on the live show for the final for Beer of the Year, Beer and Brewery of the Year, I was drinking Maiden 2019, I want to say, and I was saying, "Dear, I want to nominate this now. I want to give this a nomination." It's very impractical because it was gorgeous, right? And I've been aging it for over a year, and I've drank it in. I Went down to there, and they had Maiden 2019 and 2021.
Mm.
And I sent you a picture on WhatsApp and saying, hey, I've got these and I'm comparing. And the 2021 is pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
If I look at these notes, where is it? Maiden. Barley wine, burnt sugar, caramelized, intense, raisin, smooth. So that's what you get from the 2021. 2020, 2019. Oh my god! Oh my!
Yeah.
It's not a drink as such because it's not something you can note down. It's just like it's gliding along your tongue. It's beautiful to just drink. Um, and you know everything's there, but it's not like, hello, I'm here. It's just, yeah, yeah. So 2019 has got a nomination, not the 2021, to be specific.
Okay.
And if you can get your hands on the
This is a sort of
2019,
question.
mm.
This is the question I asked a few years ago about beer of the year. Can you, because that is essentially not a beer from this year, even though you've drunk it this year. It's just amazing to you. Right? So
yeah,
it's like, is that what? Because we never really. I mean, we always say on the show at the end of the year how we clarified choices for beer of the year, like because one person's beer of the year won't be the next person's kind of thing. So yeah, is a beer from 2019 qualified as your beer of the year this year, seeing as you've only drunk it this year, it wasn't made this year, but then there's a lot of crossover from the year before anyway. So
yes, because I drank it on that year.
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't, you know, very
yeah.
only you could come up with something so pedantic.
Well, no, because on that basis, I bought these beers. Actually, I bought these beers
Mm.
this year, so I was going to say this could still be in my beer of the year nomination because it's still a really good beer. I'm still really enjoying it.
Yes, you could. There is
Actually,
nothing stopping you.
because I bought them last year.
Mm.
Actually, these ones I bought this year because I saw Fierce. I bought them out again in 440 cans. I only had them in the 330s for beer 52. So yeah,
Mm.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've got another couple of cans left, so I'm not sure whether this is going to be a nomination for me for beer of the year. But it's certainly up there. Is a beer that I'm still enjoying.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Well, there you go. Luca, leave the feedback worth of the Beer Guild, and once I've viewed your editorial, please do. Please do. So it's give me all that. So there you go. Siren Maiden is number one for one on my list. There you go. And we're 24 minutes in.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long night.
It is. Well, it's not. Okay. The next one. You've got nothing. You got nothing then. All right.
I've got things to say, but
Okay, fine. And here is one I cannot pronounce. Um, but back on the maiden, no, I didn't respond to this comment. You said, "Is it really all that?" Yes, maiden really is all that, but get it aged. Don't if it's like saying this is maiden 2023, put it away for 3 years. Yeah. Okay. The next one I cannot pronounce. I got it in the Hope in February, and I've not been back to the Hope since.
Wow.
It is Bowegian Emilesia White Label Butterscotch Toffee Stout Bell Size White Label BA 12.8%.
Wow. Okay.
Fantastic aroma. I mean, if I did do aromas of the year, it would be nominated. It is got the butterscotch is very present. It's a bit creamy. It's sharp rum because it's been barrel aged. Bite is a strong rum bite coming through it, and it's got very sweet, very nice. It's lethal. It's lethal but fun. It really is, mate. Um, and yeah, that is another one. Had their beer festival. I haven't been back since because I was a bit pissed when I went, and I think I embarrassed myself. I'm afraid to go back in.
Or into the Hope.
Yeah,
You'll be all right. They'll have forgotten it by now. They must see loads of pissed dickheads in there.
I don't know. I think they got a fairly nice crowd. And I was nice, but I was like, no, I'm okay to drink more beer. Yeah, I really wasn't. They were actually correct. And I tried getting a bus home. I couldn't. I got a cab in the end. Oh, messy night. I said to you, I sent what in our WhatsApp. Yeah, I said I've quit drinking. Um,
Brilliant.
disco beers before my time. Well, indeed, yes. And so that
Yeah,
is number
I think it's a film
two.
song reference, so I'm not going to get it.
Hmm. Uno Matata. Indeed. Yes. So the next one, again in the Hope. Um, I had this was so good. I had it twice.
Mm.
It's by Paloja.
Piala.
Palo. Yes, them. Yeah, them.
I mean, I'm not gonna mug you off on that one because that is a fucking difficult one to pronounce because nobody knows where those H's and J's go apart from them. But I believe, I mean, I could be wrong, I don't know, but I believe I've heard other people say Piala, so, which doesn't make a lot of
Yeah.
sense. But there you go.
Yes. Lump. The mud cake. Imperial stouts with cocoa, and emphasis on the cocoa. It glides. I mean, their drinks glide. It is
Mm.
black as a
Has this
dark
not
night.
been on? Has this been on your beer list before? Your beer of the year list before? Because I know you have had
Well
Pialas on there, but I'm not sure which one.
well remembered.
Mm.
Well remembered. I would have to consult the notes, but I'm renominating it again. There's nothing wrong with renominating it. It's been a while. Yeah, but it. I mean, these literally glide off your tongue. They are brilliant. I mean, they possibly make the best Imperials going.
Mm.
Well, one of the many next to Omnipolo and a few others. But oh my god! And it's succulent. Um, and it's a finisher. You should really have two of them in the evening, but I did.
Mm.
And the brown head on top of it is just so good. No, so there's that. That was fun. Another barrel aged one at 12.5%. Lots of coffee, and I love coffee and beer when it's done right. I have a funny feeling. I'm not sure that coffee beers are done right unless they're a high percentage. I could be wrong. Please
I
prove me wrong.
yeah. Well, I couldn't disagree with you necessarily, but coffee beers because I do like. I mean, it's usually stouts as well, but I do. You go into
Mm,
them with a lot of expectation, and quite often, I mean, I'm not a massive like coffee connoisseur, but I do like a coffee in the morning, and I do like a coffee stout or coffee in a beer because I think it's an interesting flavour. But yeah, I do find some of them a bit not hit and miss, but it's just like, well, it's all right, but it doesn't sort of draw out the flavour. It's not smooth enough. Um,
I,
I kind of avoid. I've gone off coffee stouts a lot recently. I was quite big into them a few years back, and
mm,
I haven't so much.
yeah, I know. I'm kind of with you on that. I get what you're saying because they are a bit hit or miss, but getting them right. And I like good coffee.
Hmm.
I'm not an instant. I will drink instant if I have to, but I got my own cafetiere. I've had it for a while, and I like you put the right amount in
Hmm.
coffee, and then you let it settle with the hot water. Then you flush it down, and then you warm the milk up, and then if you're having milk, then you mix it. Yeah, it's craft coffee.
Hmm.
Um, And there's plenty, and I even the coffee shops and where I live, I even rate them. I even have a secret rating board for them, um, and it's not an easy thing to do to get coffee beer right. I agree, but I do believe, in my experience, and please prove me wrong, high percentage ones are the best ones. And I'm not sure how many more high percentage ones we're going to be seeing because I'm predicting doom and
Well,
gloom.
yes, everything is going up. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Oh dear.
So I finished that one. It's not. There's a little bit of coffee in that, but it's got more of a chocolatey porter. That's Fierce Beer up in Aberdeen.
Mm,
May contain brambles, 5% bramble porter. So that's my first beer out of the way anyway. Quick palate
good.
cleanser.
I'm still drinking this. It's very very good.
Mm.
Maybe once upon a time that might have made beer of the year. No, actually,
Uh-huh.
it wouldn't have. No, it's just as for me, it needs a bit more. It needs a little bit tropic in it. There's no tropic. It's a nice cleanser.
Mm.
Um, as I said, beer of the year for me is getting harder. Maybe it's
Mm.
because my palate's increasing or it's decreasing, but it's like I've been here, I've done this.
There is a lot of that. It's very difficult to find something a bit new and a bit different and a bit interesting. I like to think as the second half of the year progresses and if things are still progressing on the same tangent they are, that I certainly might get out a bit more and try a bit more different beers and different breweries. I might have a better chance of finding something in the second half of the year, but I mean, I said that last year and it didn't happen. So who knows? We shall see. Talking
Mm.
of things that are a bit different, and again, you're probably going to hate me for saying this, but I do have a sort of a nomination to talk about, I
Oh,
suppose. Um, and again, which you probably won't be any surprised to hear, is from Perivale. Uh,
who?
yeah, that doesn't go
Who?
very well on the screen, does it?
No.
No, Perivale. This one is they're very zesty. It's a lemon sour, and it is a 3.7% lemon
No.
sour, which might surprise you to maybe see in consideration for beer of the year. But I've had a little bit of a difficult one in terms of which one to talk about from Perivale because I probably do talk about it certainly to you too much. I appreciate that, but it is because I go up Perivale a lot. Um, for those that haven't heard me talk about it, it's fantastic little microbrewery up the west end of London on the Central Line. I did a video about it the other week in there about their tomato ghosts, which I haven't gone for even on beer of the year nomination, even though I really like that beer because it is a little bit different. Like you were saying, they're talking about different stuff. You don't see too many breweries messing about with tomatoes in a beer, and it is a bit of a little bit of an opinion divider. But people try it and they go, "Oh, that's actually really nice." The same as this one. This one has just been rebrewed recently. I did have this around Christmas this year, and I think on one of the live streams I was talking about it again. Like I say, it's 3.7%, so I can just put it in the cupboard. And if I'm not thinking about reviewing, I can just have a. It's just a beer I can get out of the cupboard and just drink without really thinking about it. You know, it's a beer for. It's beer for all occasions. I often say it's a beer for people who don't actually like beer or want a beer
Mm.
because it's quite light, but it's got lots of flavors going on, lots of fruitiness. It's not a massively out and out mouth puckering sour. Again, because it's only 3.7%. I often describe it as somewhere between sherbet lemons, cloudy lemonade, and lemon meringue pie because it has got lactose on it, so there is a little bit of a creaminess on it. A little bit different on bottles, but on tap, out of keg, is proper creamy and good lemon flavour, but really balanced between the sour and the sweet and the fruit flavors. Um, it's really good mid-session as well, little palate cleanser as well.
Fantastic.
So
I believe I have had it.
I think you have. I think you did have last year. It's kind of. It's not quite a core beer as such, although I don't think they've really decided what their core beers are as yet, apart from the pale ale, the very pale. Um, but
Mm.
it's one that's really popular up there. I'm often standing at the bar and I hear the question like, which one do you recommend? Because they'll have like 4 or 5 or 6 on at any one time or something. And my answer to that one is all of them, because they're all really good. There's a couple that I'm not so fussed on, but that's just more about my palate. I'm not really fussed about the very hazy, like a New England IPA version of. They're very pale, but even the pale ale, I really like and I can drink quite happily. I'll probably drink that less because I've had it a fair bit anyway, and I try the other ones. But Mike's got this kind of Mike, the owner and brewer up there. He's got this kind of like, he likes to go a little experimental, try something a bit different. Like last month, he tried something different, and it kind of worked. But it was just putting unusual ingredients, perhaps, in a beer. And it was gonna go to. He was talking about possibility of putting it into a cask and taking it to Ealing next week, but that didn't quite work out. But he had it on some keg in the bar, and it was inspired by the beavers. They're reintroducing wild beavers into the local woods in Perivale, which is odd for that kind of suburban kind of area as it is in Zone 5 up the end of the Central Line.
It's shot down Horsenden Hill.
Horsenden Hill. I mean, yeah, but there's loads of like countryside there, even though it's right slap bang in the middle of suburbia. It's just like a nice.
Yeah.
And also over the other side by the canal, there's loads of like marshland and kind of woods and that over Perivale woods between the canal and the A40. It's really strange to be in that. But yeah, but he brewed a beer and he put willow bark, oak, and vanilla in what was essentially probably a best bitter come IPA, which oddly really worked. Not he didn't pick out each of those individual flavors. It kind of added to the something a bit different in like a best bitter. It was somewhere between best bitter and IPA. And it was quite popular on the bar. A lot of people went back for it. But yeah, so yeah, that's why I'm probably nominating also Perivale. And I know they were my easy shoe-in for Brewery of the Year last year, obviously, because they even last year they do a lot of the other thing they do a lot of like foraged ingredients. He'll pick up stuff from the hill in the woods and forage them. Like for example, their Pilsner has got stinging nettles in it. It's a nettle Pilsner, which give it an extra sort of fresh zing, slight herbally kind of vegetableness to a extra flavour to a Pilsner lager. It's got Saaz hops in it, and this time of weather, when it's nice and cool off the bar, it's an absolute winner up there. Really, really popular. So yeah, just something a bit different. That's what they do, as well as doing a pale ale, even the stout. The very brick.
Mate, I got to say that's brilliant review of it and a description of Perivale. You've given more information about Perivale than ever, and it was very articulate and well put. Well done. Thank you.
I could get that down in a video, eh? I've tried.
Yeah. Well, you just did.
Yeah.
In a sense.
No, at some point up there, when I get time, I'll do some more videos up there and probably put a little bit more about that into a like this is Perivale kind of thing.
Yes. Back on the point about Tomato Ghost. This is hello, if Luke, if you're still watching, is going to be a Rasco philosophical moment or slight rant. Tomato and alcohol goes well actually in the continent, that place called Europe, particularly in Spain. Other places do it. You're making up a tomato juice and putting in a slash of vodka or putting in a bit of spice.
Well, now, go on. I'll come back to that one.
So it's just a very British concept to think, oh no, tomato, that doesn't go with alcohol. Well, actually it does. Tomato is a fruit, not a veg.
Exactly, but you wouldn't put it in a fruit salad, would you?
Well, some would.
That's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is knowing tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad.
Well, look, I'm just saying. Look, you can add tomato juice And if you want to spice it up, you can. Feel free. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Well, I tell you what, with that tomato beer, that tomato ghost, obviously it's on tap as well, on the keg as well. And on the opening party for the new bar and the inside outside new covered, the bit up the steps where they got that little courtyard outside where they used to serve from. They got this new tent now, so it's a covered courtyard now. So if it rains, everybody dives under there. Bud Lions.
Yes.
Yes. So Perivale have done a Clamato beer where he's put shellfish in the brew. They've also done a kimchi version. One of the owners, Mike's wife, is from Korea, so she brewed up a batch of kimchi, and they put that in. It was essentially, I think it was based on the tomato sour, but it was a kimchi sour, and that goes very well with food as well, as does the tomato sour. But on their opening party, Mike came up with Kiwi Mike. He came up with a beer cocktail, and I've done a beer cocktail based on the tomato sour. I used rhubarb vodka and some soy and chili sauce, topped up with a tomato sour to make a kind of Bloody Mary. But he came up with he calls it a Lagunita, which I think is based on another type, like a margarita-based cocktail. So he's got tequila, lime. He's rimmed the glass with like chili salt, and tops it up with this tomato ghost. Absolutely fantastic little cocktail, because you've got like I'm not a big fan of tequila, but if you hide it in cocktails, probably okay. But you've got the lime bouncing off the tomato and a little bit of the chili as well. I mean, I only had one. He brought them out fairly early, which I think was a mistake. I only had one, and I felt proper. I felt it the following morning, but that might have been the 9-pint bottle as well.
Yeah, that tends to do something.
I think next, if I can, I have to do another little. That's because I've done a series of videos the other year about craft beer cocktails, and I've not quite got back round to doing them. Again, I've got a load of beer I could do with it. Yeah, fermented cabbage, isn't it? Kimchi, yeah. But he made it taste really nice. That's that's probably the sign of a good brewer. He can make even odd sounding stuff taste real nice.
Yes. So yeah, okay. I've just changed
the camera. Something different, isn't it? Something different.
Yeah, no, it is, and ultimately that's why we're in this, because this is the point of what we're making. It is getting harder to do beer and brewery of the year. But there's Perivale doing something different, which is what we got into it for. We got into it for some radical change. But, now we're having to get into the well-made hoppy beer. And that's fine. That's good. I mean, for me, the challenge is to become more articulate about how well-made it is. Like, obvious one, Sierra Nevada is amazing. It is literally, you can literally taste the craft in it. And for it to be, to be exported on that level of value and be that good, it's something.
Yeah. I mean, I joke about Sierra Nevada because I always have, but we had this discussion, with Shark when I did that one. And I can see it's a good beer, but I'm sort of like, still well on the fence with it because it just don't sit on my palate. But there's a lot of that as well. There's a lot of good beers around that are undoubtedly good, but I struggle with actually enjoying them necessarily because of like that extra hoppiness, that earthy grapefruitiness. But then I'm sometimes surprised. You talk about Citra, by the way.
Yeah.
This has got Citra hops in it.
Oh.
Right. It's got Citra hops. And absolutely no lemons whatsoever. Yeah, it tastes of sherbet lemons, cloudy lemonade, and lemon meringue pie. Because he uses a thing called lemon verbena, which I think is some kind of herb plant type thing, but obviously that's where the lemon flavour comes from. But it's got Citra hops in it, but not. It kind of brings out the citrus and the lemony kind of side of Citra rather than the grapefruity side of Citra that I always bang on about.
Oh, fair.
So I can drink a Citra hop beer. Fact. It's proven.
Oh wow! That's good. No beer for 10 weeks, but if I get back to it on New Year's, if you really have to, but if you can find a way around that, please do. Um, it's up to you, Luke. I wish you well. Um, I don't know what to have next. Should I have the Vocation Death by Cherries, Cherry
Oh,
Sour, or should I have
yeah.
another by Infinity Lido by Vocation, a special edition, double
Mm-hmm.
dipper H. What does the H stand for? Oh, dry hopped. Yeah,
Double
dry
dry hop.
hopped
Yeah.
IPA beer. They're both pretty strong in percentage. It's
Right.
not. Luckily, I do have things to do tomorrow. So yeah, dip. Which one do you want? Vocation sour or Vocation double dipper? Dry hop.
Whichever you're going to get through both of them. I've actually got that cherry. I picked that cherry one up today myself, just randomly.
Oh really?
I do have one. I was going
Should
to
we
drink
do?
it tonight. But
Should we do a joint review on it?
what now? Or a separate video?
Now or later? Welcome to the production meetings of Rasco Disco.
I'll have to take some advice on that. We could look into that. I won't do it tonight. If you've got it, do it.
All right. I'll do the other one then.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. This is all brought by my local Freshfield, by the way. So yes, I could hit an 18%. Oh, hang on. I could hit an 18% on my return, but I guess I'll be back within minutes. You don't have to, because Luke, yeah, it would be. Because Luke, I am about to tell you my next nomination for Beer of the Year. It's a beer by Unbarreled in Brighton, who I've been paying a bit more attention to, and I even went down to their tap room a month ago.
If I may interject with a small point of order, it's definitely unbarred.
Yes.
It's not unbarreled.
Yes, good point. Forgive me, those.
But I can see where you're going. It's an easy one to do because obviously barrels of beer is a natural jump to make. But yeah, no, it's definitely unbarred.
It definitely is unbarred. I apologise, beer gods. Yes, and Luke, you I don't like that camera angle either. For fuck's sake. Yeah, I don't like that one either. So yes, unbarred, not unbarreled, is a brewery based in Brighton. It's about 5 minutes from the station. It's hidden away, and I think they might be under threat because there is a lot of building of flats. All the the buildings where all the cool stuff in Brighton used to happen is dying. Brighton is dying. It's being turned into Flattopia.
Yeah.
Yes. So London by the Sea is suffering from London plague, or maybe British plague. I don't know.
I haven't been to Brighton for some time. Before stopping travelling,
Yes.
but it's always a good night out. There's plenty of places to go and find there. I didn't even realise unbarred had a tap room there. I didn't even realise they had a tap room there until you went there.
Yes. So I went there, and it's a bit. It's 5 minutes walk from the station, but it's like down a hill, through a tunnel, blah blah blah. Yeah, you find it.
Like everything in Brighton, 5 minutes walk from the station, but they still call it a city somehow.
Oh well, I'll get to that. I'll talk about my little walk through Brighton in a minute. Actually, I should have done this at the beginning of the show. Oh fuck, never mind.
Too late now, son.
Unbarred Amazonian zinc. At Luke, listen carefully. 2.5%.
Oh, hello. Having said that about a 3.7. You're 2.5%.
There is a tendency I've noticed. I nominate beers of high percentage, and I don't agree, and I never have agreed with the fact that to be tasty you have to be high percentage. And even what I said about coffee beer, I would love to find a coffee beer which is a low percentage one. a decent one. Um, but no, this was just full of buzz and flavour. It was the perfect refreshment. I had it in my lunch break, and it was really upbeat energy. It's a Berliner Weiser Sour,
Oh, yeah.
for those means anything. Um, Lots of very fresh lemon coming out, gingery. It's a perfect refreshment, a good upbeat to have in the afternoon, and gives you a
Okay.
bit of a buzz, a bit of a kick. Would you want to
So,
session it? Maybe, maybe.
so, so that's interesting. We're both putting a fairly low alcohol lemon sour on our beer of the year
Yeah,
list.
yeah, absolutely. So there you go.
Independently,
Look,
I might add because I've not seen Nuasco's beer list. In fact, I never do. I don't even know how many he's got on this year because last year I knew that you had quite a lot. But yeah, so that's kind of interesting that we've both gone independently with a lemon sour.
mm, yes,
But yes, I think you could
indeed.
session it because I could session this, and some days up there I do quite easily because it's
There you
low
go.
enough. You can just, I mean, I tend not to session the same beer anymore, but a session could be like 3 or 4 pints, but then I'd still want to go on to something else, and I'd definitely want to finish on something higher or something more stouty.
There you go. Can be in Spain
Well,
in 2 hours.
well, not by the same method of transport that you're getting to Brighton in 7. You could probably be in Brighton in about an hour and a half, I would think, unless they
Mm.
do a Teesside to Gatwick flight.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could order yourself a bunch of unbarred beer for the train journey at 2.5%. You won't be that pissed.
Mm.
There you go. Oh, howdy, Sam.
All right,
Yeah,
Sam, how you doing? Welcome.
good to see from you. I saw you on Craig music review last week.
Yeah.
Because Craig is becoming a DJ. Don't bar him, YouTube, please. Um, anyway, Sam can't fly into Brighton. Oh well,
I bet you
never
can,
mind.
but you probably have to fly to Gatwick and get an half-hour train journey from Gatwick.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
difference.
this goes right. And the train station is interconnected with Gatwick. So think
Yeah,
about it. Think
yeah.
about it. There you go. Anyway, so as we continue on with my beer of the year, my last one, and I've noticed we still got 40 minutes left on the show. Um, yes, I only have one more beer to nominate.
Wow. Okay. Like you're saying, I'm not sure about the length of your beer list this year, but it's only halfway through. This is only like speculative, pretty much. I mean, we do usually then get to the end of the year and whittle them down somehow.
Well, indeed.
Still a lot
So
to add on.
about a month ago, and the reason I've been away for so long, people, my work had got very super intense, and it was kind of like do this and then maybe not earn money. So I was
Yeah.
kind of like, I'm going to earn that money, um, and so that's what I did. So at the end of this very busy period, I needed a holiday, a brief, and I went down to the lovely town of Lewis. And I did a bit of hiking, what I love to do, and I did a little bit of pub spotting, which I love to do. And Lewis is great for pubs and hiking. Um, and I will share the photos of that all on social media this week. Um, what I discovered, but by the way, I walked from Lewis to Brighton, a 9.5 mile walk, all the way to Lombard. I actually went to the same uh, sauna that I did my samurai training in back in February, where we stopped doing shows. We should talk about that. That was great. Um, and yeah, and yeah, it was really, really, really good, and really, I really need that break. What I did a bit after I did one hike around some hills in Lewis, and I came back down. I did a bit of pub spotting, and I came across a beer, a really refreshing, good beer. It was so crisp. It was straight from the tap room of a brewery there,
Mm.
and you know, Lewis has three breweries in it, um, and it was just an absolute. There's a blend of four hops. I can't name them, but four local hops, local water. This brewery has a bit of history behind it, and this coming straight from the tap, straight from God's mouth, you could say.
God.
Bit of a nice bit of a kick to it, lovely, juicy, real refreshment. Harvey's best bitter.
I will only let you off with that one because you're talking about it direct from the brewery. And obviously, I'm always going on about Paravel drinking right out the back of the
No,
brewery. So I'm
hello,
guessing Harvey
internet.
is
Can you
much
still hear
the
me?
same. So yeah, yeah. I was just saying, I'll
Hello.
let you off with
No.
that Harvey's best business because you're drinking it fresh out the brewery. So I can take that.
Bloody hell, we disconnected there. I think because it was such a controversial choice that it broke the internet.
Yes, it is a difficult one for me to let you have in a beer of the year with Harvey's best, only because I've probably had several bland average pints of it away from Lewis. It hasn't necessarily, like you always say about it, cask beer being kept well, served well, and
Mm,
appreciated. I don't appreciate. I don't think it is the best because I don't think it travels. I didn't actually have a pint of it when I was in Lewis. I don't think. I don't know what I was drinking, but I think I'm so averse to it. But I'll let you have that one because it's out the back of the brewer. If it's that fresh from it hasn't travelled anywhere. And this is another thing I say about Paravel. I'm only drinking Paravel at the brewery. It's
mm.
travelled 6 yards. We'll
And
see what happens next week if I get to try it at Ealing Beer Festival
and
because they are going there. But I'll
yeah,
let you have Harvey's best. I mean, I must be mellowing in my old age, but
mm,
you know,
yeah, yeah. Well, let's be on back on the Perryvale. Craig Trent beer review when he went to Perryvale, he actually
yeah.
said their beer was a bit too fresh. It was
Um, that was one particular beer, and I can't. I think it might have been the Nettle Pilsner. I think that was because it had come out. It was fresh that week, so a couple of weeks later it would
yeah,
have mellowed slightly. It. Craig described it as green,
mm,
which is like super fresh. It has conditioned, but it still has a little bit of conditioning to go, maybe to kind of mellow out the flavors a bit. So
mm.
yeah,
Um,
Craig, absolutely right to say that. And even Mike agreed with him. He said, yes, probably it is. But for your average palate, it's perfectly fine. Nobody will notice. But Craig obviously has got a good palate. He noticed that.
oh God,
Yeah, so Sam says you probably drank a lot of beak whilst you were down there. Did you get onto beak whilst you was in Lewis?
Beak was fairly predictable. It was Parade at 6%, and I love Parade. I honestly do love that drink. Had that with a meal and had a coffee with it as well. Um,
See, I think
um,
beak is another one. Like, unless I'm in Lewis, I've got to go there and try it there. It's the same as I always say with like Daya. I see all these Daya beers about, and I'm like, I want to try that in Cheltenham at Daya's Brewery before I get on to fussing about it elsewhere. Because same with Beak, it's like, yeah, they do the occasional stout, but it's just a lot of hoppy, fresh IPAs, pales, and double IPAs, which are great at a point, as I say, if you're at the brewery. But I'm not going to risk my money on it being exceptional whilst it's travelled a
yeah,
bit, and like it's not my favourite flavour profile anyway. It's
yeah,
just a bit of a risk. But I would like to go to Beak. I will go. I will at some point. Hopefully, I would
yeah.
imagine go to Lewis and sit at Beak, and also as
I mean, I love Lewis. Any excuse to go to Lewis, I'll go.
Luke mentions Abyss as well. See, Harvey's I've been
Yes,
to, but I'm still not fussed on all of their beers.
but I did have some good stout. I had a good few beers in their tap room. Um, I couldn't go to the Beak tap room because I was there on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and I left Lewis on a Thursday. So, and their tap room opens up on a Thursday afternoon.
Well, that's just
So
bad
I couldn't
planning,
get.
sir. That's the schoolboy error, isn't
You can only do so much. There is only one of them.
it? This
Um,
is very true. This is
yeah.
very true. And
So
again,
yeah.
that ties in what we're saying about choosing beer of the year this year, because we can only do
Mm.
so much, and we'll be able to do so much less this year. I still
Um,
don't know.
I am planning another trip up to or down to Lewis. Hopefully next month. I love the
Yeah,
place and I love hiking. And it's great. It's a great place for hiking.
yeah.
So um, Ealing Beer Festival is happening next week.
It is
For
indeed.
those of
It
you
is indeed.
what go down, I plan to do some content. I don't know what though. It's pretty hard to do content. I can't vlog it again because it's in a tent, a large tent, but it's very
Mm.
hard to vlog the same tent again. Um, so, and I've already interviewed the organizer of it. You can go back and
Well, I'll talk to you about that separately once we work out who's going when. Like, I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But what days are you planning on going to Ealing?
Well, that's a slight problem which we might need to discuss off air.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think the best experience better of a taproom brewery or local microbrew? I have some great brewery locally, but not quite people's. Um,
Yeah, it's a good point. I think,
yeah, I
um,
think it's all about the moment. You never know what's going to
yeah,
happen.
and usually me and Rasco are agreeing again. Yeah, you could go
Yeah.
even a brewery, like you were saying, like Craig said about that beer being green. If you don't like
Mm.
that, then you're not going to enjoy it. But also, it does depend very much on the moment, who you're with, what beer you're having, what you're feeling at the moment. Almost.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I say haven't really been to many breweries recently, but the couple I have been to have been really good because they're that you've got that local. Uh, you've got that local feeling. Certainly, that's what Paravel do. Like, it's a big community thing. They don't really get out beyond the local community that much. They have got some beers, like I say, going to Ealing next week. They've got some beers in a bottle shop down the road in Northfields, but
Mm.
it's not national, so it keeps it kind of small batch. It keeps it kind of fresh at the point of delivery on the farm. And even last month there was a keg at the back that had been left at the back of the store, and they put it on, and it's like a 6 7 month old beer, and it was still absolutely fresh, spot on, because it hadn't gone anywhere. There was no hadn't been shaken up in a lorry somewhere or anything like that.
Not to put it down to too much hocus pocus. The moment it is down to people who manage it as well. I
Mm,
mean, Lucy, who manages the micropub, I mean, she is a hard working woman who
yeah,
knows her stuff. Very passionate.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Plug. Um, and it, I mean, it does kind of determine that you can't place it all on hocus pocus.
Yeah.
It and really hard work and determination. So fair play and good luck to everyone.
Mm.
Because I know
And
it
well,
is
as
tough
Luke
out
said,
there.
like people persons. So it's like, yeah, if you get somebody good on the bar that's like really friendly and chats and is knowledgeable about the beers, can talk about the beers and stuff like that, it kind of adds to the experience a little bit. Whether it
Absolutely.
changes, if you get somebody like that serving a bad beer, the beer is still going to be bad. But if you get both of them that are right, the beer is good, and the people are friendly and knowledgeable and stuff like that, it just adds to the experience, doesn't it?
Yeah. Um,
That's interesting. I mean,
so what? But
again, I think it depends on the organisation or whatever, the management or whatever. Like, do they really want to be there, or are they just going through the motions? Yeah. Oh, I got a horrible feeling we might have lost Rasco. He did seem to be having a few internet issues, but come back soon, Rasco, please. But yeah, no, that's a really good point, Luke. That, yeah, if some people just don't want to be there, it kind of comes across. You can tell it's like just picking up the money. That I would say is probably a more of a factor in a bar than like direct like brewery tap room. Um, but then there's some people that have been with the company so long and maybe they're less interested, excited, or whatever. No, Rasco's definitely gone, so it's just me waffling on to for the moment until we can get Rasco back. That's a good point. I would spend just as much time talking to people with no knowledge of beer as I would with those who know hops, grains, and processes. I think actually it probably the opposite is kind of true. You kind of need to spend more time talking to people with no knowledge of beer to find out what they want. It's not just like what beer do you want? Here it is, go away. Like it's like, and I've seen it a lot at Paravel. There'll be people who've just happened upon the place because it is. It's like it's on a walking route. Like I say, it's on a hill. It's like public footpaths around. It's like the bottom of a wood. So there's people who just go out for a walk and oh, there's a brewery. Didn't know that. There's a lot of people say that. I mean, the brewery's only been there like 4 years, so still a lot of people don't really know about the brewery. But I've seen people like who don't know anything about beer and they'll go through the whole list and they'll be and R and it's like, oh yeah, have a taste, have a little taste, see which one you like, and then they can sell that beer. And they go away happy because yeah, they don't know necessarily about the beers and stuff, but they go away with a beer that they like, and a friendly like atmosphere and hopefully still a really good beer. Do bear with me a second. It's an interesting interruption because Rasco is calling me because his internet has dropped out. Rasco, I hope this works online. I don't know whether he gets some feedback, but how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, pissed off.
Well, the stream's still going as far as I know. And you are now live on the internet, so please don't say you're pissed off.
I'm pissed off. I can't see myself.
That's because you're not on the stream.
Yes. Oh, great. Well, at least the stream's still going.
Oh, it's still going. I'm amiably carrying on, but you are live via the medium of telephone call.
Oh, good.
On speaker.
So to make it clear to everyone, we are hotspotting, and this should be very clear that you can only hotspot for an hour, then things break down. My internet is breaking down, and I should be.
I think we're going to have to wrap this up. We're going to have to wrap this up very quickly because my phone is red hot, and that means it's working overtime to hotspot this. Literally, because
okay,
my internet.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I'm hotspotting too, but yeah, well, we've kind of wrapped up the beer with your nominations from you. We've sort of done mine, even though I haven't really got any. But I've mentioned two. Is there a different list for you for brewery of the year this year nominations so far?
Well, yes, I have two nominations, and yeah, what we were saying just before, we make a really good point. Yeah, but
yeah,
yes, who was breaking down there, me or you? Were we both breaking
definitely
down?
you, as far as I could tell.
Oh fuck! Yes. Yep. All right. I may not get a video up this week. So yes. Right. So there are two nominations. We've got they are both nominated, and to simply state, oh God, what's it? Something else.
No, you're good. You carry on.
The banner's gone now. Why is the banner gone? Oh fuck it.
That's because I took it off. That way I've done that. Here's a quick one for you. Samsung 23 Ultra. I've got a new phone as well, so my hotspotting seems to be pretty good because my old phone was on and off with the hotspot. That's one of the reasons we stopped doing the live. So, yeah, maybe time for a new phone, Rasco.
This is a new phone.
Oh, jeez. Bloody technology. Yeah. Why doesn't it just work?
Yes. There you go. So, number one is Siren, because on their 10th year, they're pulling out all the effing stops. I mean, the beers I've seen of theirs have been fantastic. and amazing. They're collaborating with Burnt Mill. A review might be coming up of that. They're collaborating with Omnipolo. They're collaborated with everyone out there who is big or small. And it's not beer which you can just kick to one side. It really is top class stuff.
Yeah.
And they're performing it. They're like Pep, the Man City manager at the moment. They're not Man City. They are Pep because they're managing it and they're delivering it well. Man City, when they had other managers, were doing okay, and they was.
I think you mean Steven Schumacher, surely. I mean, Pep did lose a few games.
Yeah, everyone loses a few games. Come on, but really are smashing it, and I hope it continues. And if it doesn't continue, let that be their legacy. So, hands down. And if I'm honest, it's going to be hard to beat them. Are you nominating Perryvale again?
I suppose I've got to, really, just for all the reasons I've kind of mentioned earlier, because, and it is difficult because I'm up there a lot, so I'm just aware of their stuff and know the brewery almost inside out. But I kind of have to, really. Like I say, until I find a bit more this year, maybe the second half of this year, I think maybe I'll drink a bit more, because I have noticeably been drinking less, even though I've been up Perivale a lot. I've been drinking less, probably.
Me too.
And got to get through the stash as well. I've still got too many beers from last year. I've got to crash through, and I know that annoys you, but it annoys me as well. But yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. I could put together a list of breweries that I've really enjoyed this year, but I haven't had that much from everybody that I can. Yes, I did used to have some terrible. That's kind of part of the charm. Hopefully, it's better now. But I'm not on the mobile at the moment. I'm on the webcam, so hopefully the webcam's still all right. I still don't like that light thing though. Doesn't look very good on this bottle either. Let's have a look a bit closer. Good old Lord's Brewing, the Abandoned Car, Rouge Porter. Got a few of these in earlier, new bottles, and I've never got round to reviewing them. Apologies, John, if you actually watch this. I haven't got round to reviewing any of the beers. I had the weekend driver yesterday. Completely didn't review it at all, and really good best bitter. I often say about best bitters, often they're not best, but that one was really nice, really balanced on the flavour. Well spotted. I was wondering if Paul might wander in as well. Yeah, Creative Juices t-shirt. That's the kind of I Creative Juices might well be on the Brewery of the Year, because that's kind of the only other brewery I've been to this year, and I really enjoyed Creative Juices. The only thing about Creative Juices is I don't often get a chance. I've only been there twice this year, and I didn't get a chance to drink any Creative Juices beers because they've got an excellent tap list of guest ales. Like last time I was up there the other day, Paul mentioned this on his live the other day. I popped in to see him just briefly on the way to that party, Rasco, and I popped in there and I had he gave me a big stein of Hofmeister with like the logoed stein as well, and like I don't remember having Hofmeister back in the day, but he had a keg of it and he said this is tasting really good, and to be fair, it was. They've rebrewed it, and so every time I go to Creative Juices, which is only numbered 3 times so far, but I'll get back there as soon as possible over the summer, because again, it's a bit like Perivale. It's outside, and really, it's got that kind of farm, and again, it's kind of fresh because the beer's not gone anywhere, so it's got fresh, really good tasting beer. But that said, when I'm there, I've only drunk guest beers. They had Plum Porter on the other day, Rascal. I can't remember if I told you that.
You did.
So I suppose Creative Juices might well be my other nomination for Brewery of the Year, because I've really enjoyed the experience there, albeit limited.
Well, it's an experience, and that's all you can say. Okay, the next and final Brewery of the Year nomination
Mm.
All right. So this brewery has been around for a while, and I really like what they do.
Okay.
I respect them, and there are some disagreements of the tax issue that came up a couple of years ago. But they're producing great beer. They're challenging themselves, but they're sticking to their roots of history. Now, there are a lot of people in craft beer world who are really snooty about an old brewery, and I don't get that, and it's why I love Anspach Hop Day because they brand themselves kind of new and old at the same time.
Mm.
Um, Postmodern beer, I guess you could call it then.
Mm.
So I really like that, but I just can't knock what they do in terms of quality of beer. And they even produce their own spirits from time to time. It's Harvey's best Harvey's.
Nah, come on, you're stretching it. I'll let you have Harvey's best bitter on the beer of the
Yeah,
year, but you're stretching it a little for brewery of the year. That's a bit of
Harvey's,
a.
mate. Harvey's. You got to respect your
You
elders,
went there
man.
once and quite liked a pint.
Quite like the pint. I had a few pints there, and
You
I've been
see,
having a
I
few pints here and
don't
there.
get me wrong, right? As a brewery, I like Harvey's, right? As I say, I've been there, I've visited it. It's a
Mm.
lovely, I like you say, it's no place. There's bundles of history there, and it looks really good. Like obviously, it's got that architecturally, it's really lovely
Oh,
history in that,
beautiful,
and undoubtedly,
beautiful.
they've done well to survive and get through and produce some beers.
Mm.
Yeah, but brewery of the year, I don't know. I think that's a bit of a stretch, but I'll let you have it. I'll allow it. I don't think it'll be your brewery of the year though. I'll gamble that now, but I think that's a big
Oh,
stretch. It's brave of you. It's brave of you to come and sit in front of me and put Harvey's on any beer list. To be fair, but I'll let you have. I'll let you have beer of the year because of what you said about the experience of it. Brewery of the year, I
mm.
think it's stretching it, but fair play to you for having the absolute kahunas to sit in front of me and say that.
Yeah. I think I might just give it to them now. Do this as a bit. Mm. But so there you go. And back on the point, you say you made a point before I crashed. Um, it's very good to have someone in behind the bar. The staff at the Harveys actually knew their bit, and you could see the passion
Yeah, yeah,
behind it. They weren't just reading off a script, and they gave you notes, and they talked about how they feel about it. It is so essential. Um, I mean, for people in good beer places, I'm not calling them craft, I'm not calling them real ale, good beer places, for just to have a little bit of insight. I mean, it's not like lifting weights, it's not hard. Just to give it a try and say what you feel.
mm,
And, I take a few people out. I was out with someone around the corner talking about beer, and I introduced them to Jaipur.
mm,
And they were like, okay, they're a lager drinker, and I think that's a good conversion, really.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so therefore, you don't need to have mass intelligence to build connections with beer. As you travel through, you will build mass intelligence. That's his experience of life and how you pursue your passion. And
You know
that's
what?
that's another philosophical moment.
Okay, okay. So there's a video I may do coming up, right? Like now you say that, it's funny you should mention Jaipur because I was just thinking about it. There's a beer I had the other day that I was thinking is one I haven't seen for a while. I had it last month. And I ended up having 5.5 pints of it because it was that good. But it's one that I wouldn't traditionally expect to like because it's got
Mm,
that hoppy overtones like Jaipur has. I shouldn't like Jaipur. It's got that kind of hoppy, slightly grapefruit note, but somehow in Jaipur it works.
yeah.
And I had a beer the other day. This pub up in Bushy. I went for a long walk. Um, I didn't do a video of it at the time because I was at a wake, so I didn't think it was appropriate. But I might go back to that pub, and it's not a pub I expected to be getting good beer. It's traditional beer, and it's a beer from a brewery called Tring Brewery. which I believe you recognise, and it was a beer called Side Pocket for a Toad. And it made me every time I see it, I'll have a pint and think, oh, actually, this is not my thing, but it's really good, and I can keep drinking this. I can have several pints. It's only like I think mid. I'm sure it's like 5, 5, 4, something like that. But I want to go back to this pub and have another pint of it. So that should be. I think that should be a beer of the year nomination, just because I enjoyed the beer and it made the event for me, because it was a bit I didn't expect it as well. That was the thing. I didn't think this pub was going to have any decent beer on, and they had. I mean, they had the usual. They had like 3 real ale pumps, and then to be fair, I think they had Beavertown and some other stuff as well, some Welsh beer. So I wasn't going to drink that, but they did have a Sharps Atlantic tap, but it wasn't on, so I was a bit disappointed about that. But I saw a Side Pocket for a Toad, and I had it, and I just kept drinking it all afternoon, and it was baking hot, obviously. So I was sitting outside chatting to mates, and it was good fun. So I think I might put that on my list. Since you talked about Harvey's and put that, I think I'll put Side Pocket for a Toad on, and I'll go back and have another go at it as well. See if that comes out, So there you go. I'm glad. I knew there was one I was missing, and that was it. Side Pocket for a Toad by Tring Brewery.
Side Pocket from Toad by Tring. Good. So it's not all about a young, trendy, hoppy, disco ball branding breweries. We do respect our love and history of beer, and there you go. That is that.
I see. That's a good point, Luke. I don't know. I've got to find. I should know where the name comes from. But he's saying Side Pocket for a Toad. I've not heard it as a saying, but it's the equivalent of chocolate teapot. Okay, that's cool. So I definitely want to go back and have a look at that beer again. So yeah, it's a beer I should have got in. I did look at getting in bottles from Tring, over lockdown. It was one of the ones I thought I'd go to, and I just never got around to it again because, as we said before, so many breweries to look into. But Tring is another brewery I want to go to. I drink beers. I went there once, and it was Sunday, and it was about 5 o'clock, and they just closed. But Tring is another brewery I'd love to go and pop into, just because I've drunk so much of their stuff back in the day. They've got some good beers.
Indeed. Well, I think that we're coming to the close of things. So just let people know if you're going to Ealing, let us know. I will be there at some point. I don't know. GPF is less than 26 days away. I will be going. And I have things planned for that. And then there's London Craft Beer Festival. And I will be going on the Friday trade session. If I extend that, which I'm probably not, but I might, I shall let you know. Or let us know.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing. I made a lot of connections at London Craft Beer Festival last year. And I left that festival thinking there's someone I've got to contact. And I got a bit drunk, not massively drunk, but it was brutally hot. As Luke will know, it was brutal hot. And I forgot. And then I'm just searching through my phone. I come across a number and I'm like, there's a number of brewery I was meant to contact. And then I go through my wallet and I find a business card of a brewery which has gone under now, which was there last year. So, these things. Stay happy, live for the moment. If I'm at these festivals, I will be making a few contacts, and I've got my planner. I'm going to write things in my planner so I can remember things a bit better. There is a lot of content. I don't know when we're doing another show. It won't be next week because I'll be pissed if I'm honest.
Me too, possibly. I should be, funny enough, up Parabel because they've got a gig on next Saturday, so I shall be at a bar and listening to some music.
Oh, there you go. What plug the gig?
Well, it's a gig from the band of Mike, who owns the brewery and is co-owner, Christian, who are in a band called the Leisure Society. So they're putting on their own gig at their own brewery, and they've got a bunch of other supporting artists as well. So I shall be going along, standing in the courtyard, tapping away and drinking some. I think I'll probably be on the Nettle Pills next week, maybe, hopefully.
What time? What time's on?
From 7, I think.
Oh, 7 at night.
Yeah, it's an evening thing.
Okay.
But also, I
Okay.
think there'll be some beers in the afternoon. But I shall message you independently about that.
Good. Thank you. I might be at Ealing. Dodo.
Okay. Well, I won't be at Ealing on the Saturday. I will be at Peregrine. I'll leave with the song from Shiver. One-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people. I know that song. Luke, thanks for popping in. Anyway, good to see you, and all the best with the not drinking and however that goes. Thanks for saying hello. Glad you enjoyed it. Superb. Thanks for popping in with the comments as well and helping us out with the show. I think Rasco's gone again. So also thanks to Sam and anybody else who's been watching in. Do let us know in the comments, etc. Likes and subscribe and all that. And I think, unless Rasco suddenly comes back, let's call it a day for Chapter 10. Who knows when Chapter 11 will turn up once we get our stuff together. We'll be back. In the meantime, we'll hopefully get some videos out soon. Maybe see you at a festival somewhere. Cheers and enjoy the beers, everyone. Believe enough to lose control.